What if? What if learning more is actually the thing holding you back from achieving more? I was presenting at a seminar, presented at a couple of seminars this past week. And one of the things I spoke about, somebody asked the question, you know, do I listen to personal development podcasts and do I do a lot of learning? And I actually said that I'm not doing as much learning as I used to. And specifically, the type of learning that I'm doing when I'm learning is very, very specific. And there's a reason for that. Because one of the things I've noticed about myself, and one of the things I notice about a lot of people, especially ones that I recognize are similar to me, is that Tony Robbins says we all have 6 human needs. And one of our needs is growth. And if you are here and you're in my coaching community, perhaps, it's probably likely that you have a high desire for growth. And growth is good. You know, Tony Robbins will talk about the 6 human needs and that actually the top 2 needs from a spiritual point of view that are going to give you the most fulfillment in life. One of them is growth. But here's the problem with growth. You see, I've noticed over the years that I have taken growth to such an extreme that it's actually hindered my progress. Because what's happened is I've become almost addicted to growing, like addicted to learning, addicted to courses, at the expense of implementing the knowledge I've already got. So like in our world, in my life coaching world that you may know me from, people often ask me what I think of other kind of learning modalities in terms of like, you know, you've got neurolinguistic programming, hypnotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, life coaching, business coaching, holistic coaching. Now we've got breath work that's kind of coming out and prominent. And people often say, what do you think of all these modalities? To which I say, I think they're all amazing. I think everybody should be actively increasing the amount of tools in their toolbox. But at the end of the day, if you have a toolbox full of tools, but you don't have an audience to serve and help with those tools, then you're just a handyman or woman with nobody to serve. So I'm a big believer. Let me give you an example of this. Let me illustrate this. I've got 2 friends that are both personal trainers. One is called Joma, the other is called Stephen. Stephen has got multiple personal training, fitness based qualifications, like you name it, literally a long list of personal development courses, sports science, anatomy, physiology, you name it, right? Spent thousands on his education and he's proud of it, and so he should be. Joma hasn't done lots of different courses. She's literally done one level, whatever is the basic level for personal training, that is the entry level to be able to securely, safely facilitate a personal training session and help facilitate change for an individual and get them, you know, the health and the body or whatever it is their outcome, right? Interestingly, Stephen has been in this space now for about 5 years. And Joma's been in this space for probably 18 months. And what's really interesting is Joma has more clients than Hani 3 to 1. Like she has like literally a particular model that she does, and she has a waiting list of people in this model. Whereas Hani's regularly struggling to get people into his program. And what's interesting, what's even more interesting to me, and I'll get back to the point in a second, is that Hani is very strong at talking about how he isn't a marketer and he's not into marketing. Whereas Joma got her qualification, recognized that she needed to now know how to monetize that before she got any other qualifications. She then went and invested in the marketing. And as a result, was able to get clients very quickly. So what's my point? My point is that in life, sometimes we can be overly obsessed with growth at the expense of the other human need that Tony was talking about, which is contribution. In the sense that if we're not growing to give, then we may be perhaps using growth as a way to make us feel certain that we're enough. Like many years ago, and I still go through this, it's not something that I'm over. I won't pretend like I've resolved this. There are times where I catch myself learning and growing just for the sake of it. And the reason I do that is because it makes me feel certain when I'm growing. Like, oh, as long as I'm growing, I feel enough. And the problem is, if I'm only growing to fill my mind with knowledge, as the cliched saying goes, knowledge isn't power unless it's applied. And so what a lot of people do is they grow and grow and grow for the sake of it without actually putting out anything of value, without putting out content, and actually kind of going into that whole perfection paralysis where they're like, I'm not ready yet. I need to do another course first. I need to learn about video editing. I need to learn how to do advertising properly before I put my message out. You know, when I started to think about this new iteration of videos I'm doing, there was a part of me that thought about the production, about the editing. And as I look and observe online now, there is a lot of videos that are very, very well done, very professionally done. And if I'd thought, or if I'd overthought about those people doing those videos, I maybe wouldn't have started. But you know what I did? I reminded myself of when I used to sell fitness for a living. There would be people that would come in through the door and I would see and feel in their physiology that they were intimidated by other people that were there that were already in their perception, already in shape. And I would be the first person to say to them, if they voiced it and it was obvious that they wanted to speak into that, I'd say, look, everybody here is focused on themselves. I say nobody here, said with love, other than the team that work here, nobody cares about you. And I don't mean that, and I said I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about, you know, you how overweight you think you are or think you aren't, or nobody cares. Nobody cares about what you're wearing. Nobody cares what you're doing. Everybody is so wrapped up in their own thing. Nobody cares. As a good friend would say, Daniel Priestley would say, when we all realize that we are actually just tiny specks in a universe and that we are absolutely, completely insignificant, that we don't actually mean anything, that when we die, frankly, within a very short period of time, only a handful of people will care. When we realize that, we may as well just get over ourselves and do something useful while we're here. So if you're a person that is learning obsessed, that listens to podcasts, that watches YouTube videos, here's my recommendation. For every minute that you are consuming content, that you are consuming information to help you grow, for every minute, I recommend that you put out content. So if you're going to learn for 30 minutes today, then you must put out 30 minutes of valuable information to help other people. If you're going to learn for an hour today, you must put out an hour's worth of valuable information to help other people. Because it is my belief that you probably already have enough knowledge right now in your mind that if you didn't learn anything else again for like the next year or the next 5 years, I bet the knowledge that you've already accumulated by the fact that you're watching this video right now would probably be enough to not watch or consume anybody else's content, but focus on creating your own. And in fact, actually, the most important part about that is it will help you feel like you're growing because you're giving. So you'll get the growth and you'll be contributing, which means that you'll get a 2-for-1 deal rather than just having the growth. So I hope this video serves you. I hope you find it well. This is not a call to say don't go to more workshops, don't go to more seminars, don't listen to books and podcasts, but it is to really highlight and stress from my own experience that sometimes I've found in my life that I can overgrow at the expense of using the information that's in here to add it, to put it back out in my own words. And just remember, like, you're only competing with yourself. You're not competing with anybody else. You're not competing with fancy filmmakers. Don't get me wrong, if you get to a point and you know that you've created enough content, I am getting to a point now where I'm thinking, maybe we do increase the quality and the production of these videos. But I will definitely not do that at the expense of just being here and being present and putting content out. So anyway, look, I hope you found this one useful. As always, let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this one, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Goodbye.